little green.
Yeah, that's usually the summer.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode. So today, Kyle and I are going to walk you through the greenhouse. This
and
is
Christian.
And Christian. Can't forget him. He's behind here. So we're going to walk you guys through the greenhouse. If you haven't seen one of our videos before, we'll show you what's in here, and then we'll kind of let you know where things are going to be going. So let's check it out.
So firstly, we got the Yukari Caiman, the trio, and even though this enclosure is really cool, with all the plants overhanging, I think it's a great Yukari enclosure. We can do better. So for these guys, I'm planning on moving the trio out to one of the 7 ponds. It'll definitely give them a lot more space and not have this erosion. As you can see, there's a lot of erosion in all these different places, which is essentially filling back the pond. And it being in the greenhouse, it's weird to have this natural pond here, and then there's all these tubs. So we essentially, what I'd like is to have pretty much a clean slate for the greenhouse, and we can completely start over for something big. What's cool is you can see one of the old nests there, and they've definitely given up on it, but they're definitely candidates to be moved to something bigger.
And where are you going to be putting these guys? Which pond size are you thinking?
That one is 54, because we added a sheet, 54 and a half. So 54 and a half, 55.
So they'll be going in the large ones?
36.
That
They are
hasn't
large.
been built yet.
Yes, correct. Yeah, so we are just starting them. Unfortunately, I pulled the guys off to put them on those 3 Philippine ponds, and we will then go back to those and finish those. I am trying to hire guys every single day. I think I've asked Carlos 3 or 4 times today to get more guys. So we are really rock and rolling because hurricane season is here. Hurricanes are firing up, and we are far from being done. So we need a lot more help.
What's up, guys? We're just checking on all the crocs in here. This is our salty Siamese hybrid. Now, we said it a bunch in other videos. We don't produce any hybrids here, but it's a sanctuary. We take in animals from all over the world, country, whatever you may have. And so sometimes they come in, and this is one of the hybrids, and it's actually kind of a special one because it has a bit of scoliosis right near their hindquarters. Now, that's something that literally can happen developing in the egg. That's also something that can happen to improper husbandry with previous owner. It just depends on the situation. That right there was something that happened inside of the egg, but there's always a potential for things to get worse if kept in improper conditions, which is why having a lot of space is super important for these animals and why the sanctuary kind of exists, taking all these different crocodilians that otherwise might not have a space. Especially AZA institutions, they aren't supposed to display hybridized animals. So if they have one, a lot of times they don't want it, even if they're given to them, so they kind of got to rehome it. So this is one of those hybrids, salty Siamese, naturally occurring, beautiful color, just a bit of scoliosis. But hey, she gets around, she eats well.
Well, with what you said there, is how prevalent is it in the wild?
They say it's pretty prevalent in the areas that they overlap. So the salty Siamese territories overlap in certain parts of the world and the globe. So it's more so, it will become more prevalent the more we go into the future because of habitat loss, because of things becoming more stringent on these crocodiles, whether it's their food supply or nesting sites. They're going to come more close contact with each other. Sometimes it even happens because of people kind of opening up waterways in certain parts of the world that allow crocodiles or crocodilians access to each other they never would have had. But saltwater crocodiles and Siamese crocodiles definitely overlap in their native range in some small populations. But
So this is, I believe it's a large male New Guinea crocodile. Or the question is it Hall's eye? Oh, dude. Just blew that pipe right off. Well, thanks. Now I don't have to do it myself. No. So, I like to call the New Guinea crocodiles miniature saltwater crocodiles. They are just so crazy, and they come from the same region. So, I'd like to think that they were one species many years ago, and they kind of separated. These guys are just miniature saltwater crocodiles. As you can see, they are very spicy animals. But I have 6 of these guys and gals, and New Guineas are notorious for not getting along. So the question is how are we going to try it? So my goal is to have almost like an introduction pond that we can try to put animals together without putting them to permanent enclosures, permanent big enclosures, and hoping for the best, because most likely these guys aren't going to get along. So there's a lot of tricks we're going to have to try if we ever want to just be able to keep these guys together. We don't have to, but if we ever would like to produce them, which there are very few in the United States, so maybe it would be good just for zoos, just for educational purposes, you know, just to get the word out on these beautiful animals. So that's going to be certainly a trial and error as to if and how we can get these beautiful yet feisty crocodiles to get along.
All right, guys, so next up we actually have a brown caiman. Now this is one that you guys may not have actually heard about. This is a subspecies of the spectacled caiman. So scientific name, just so you guys can kind of have some sort of separation, is spectacled caiman are Caiman crocodilus crocodilus. Brown caiman are Caiman crocodilus fuscus. These guys are actually found in a much southern range, actually down in Belize. But the funny thing is, people are actually finding these in South Florida. As funny as that is, because there is a population of spectacled caiman, and it seems like there is a smaller population of brown caiman actually as well. So those enclosures we showed you guys last week, he'll be going in one of those, and Kyle does have a smaller female, so this is potentially a breeding program in the future, just because spectacled caimans are pretty readily available, I would say, as far as crocodilians go, but the brown caiman specifically is still very rare, so being able to get one of these guys to breed here in the US and just have an established colony would be very beneficial to the species as general. And even when we get going with more of the sanctuary stuff and we do more blood testing just to differentiate purities of species and all that, I'd be really interested to see how this project kind of progresses here in the future.
All right, guys, so this is probably one of my favorite crocodilians in the whole greenhouse itself. This is our largest African slender-snouted crocodile, Mrs. Stops Cataphractis, and she's beautiful. Now, right now, she's covered in dirt because she's been making a gigantic nest, which is a great sign of her fertility. I mean, she is big. Obviously, she's gonna get much bigger, and hopefully in the future with a boyfriend, we'll be able to produce them, because obviously she's very, very ready for that. But these animals are super, super elusive out in the wild. I mean, they like to hide a lot, and they're very good at it. I mean, just like any crocodilian, their eyes, nose, and ears breach the water, and they stay underneath. But these animals in particular are pretty notorious for being nocturnal. So they do a lot of activity at night, just kind of like the other African species, the Australis. But the slender-snouted crocodile, you look right at the snout, it's a dead giveaway. And he's just kind of one of those more prehistoric looking crocodilians. And, you know, getting to the base of it, crocodiles are not dinosaurs. They are their own kind of thing along the lineage. But you look at her snout, and it's very reminiscent of like a Suchomimus or a Spinosaurus, if you will. And just the color alone on her you can appreciate. But critically endangered species found in Africa, and due to taxonomy is now split into two species. So we got the Central African slender-snouted crocodile and the West African slender-snouted crocodile. And this is the West African right here, and she is a beautiful, beautiful crocodile.
Did you ask her? How do you know she's West?
You know, she's leaning to the West.
Yes.
Yeah, she's leaning to the
This
West.
is a dead giveaway.
No, our colleague Matt Shirley is one of the literally leading crocodilian biologists that works with these cataphractis in the wild range, is the one that's responsible for all the data and keeping all the research. And he's the one that told us they only really have the Central African slender snouts in collections in Africa, and there are few and far between out there. So just still excited to have her, our big West African slender snouted crocodile.
Next up is a Chinese alligator pair. And as you can see, she is very cantankerous, and the reason for that is that right there, the big old nest. She laid probably 2 weeks ago, so she still thinks that the nest is full of eggs, so she is doing exactly what a good mom would do. What's funny is he's actually hanging out over there too, if you can see him, right around the corner. But she is such a cute little pistol. Come on, girl. Come on. Oh, here he comes. Here he comes. Here he comes. So the question is, I wonder if he protects it too, because he's definitely been hanging around, much like the Nile crocs do. Now, obviously, nothing compared to how defensive she is, but still hanging around. So again, it's to the point where it's like he's not actively defending it, but he's just being around it. So you wonder if you really push it, if he's gonna act accordingly. What do you think, Christian? Do you think he's just hanging there, or do you think he's...
Well, I mean, it's definitely a possibility of a kind of a cooperative effort to defend the nest. There are observed and recorded data behind species kind of defending the nest together, the male and the female, whether it's the Siamese, even the gharial. And then you look at the gharial, the male is the one that hangs out and defends all the babies after they've hatched in the chambal. They all hang out with dad on his back. So defending the nest, male and female, with the Chinese definitely could be a thing. And hopefully that's the case, because in China they're super low in numbers, so they need all the help they can get.
Now, with the Indian gharial, because I'm guessing he breeds with multiple females, correct?
Yeah.
So all those offspring hang around the male, so there's hundreds of babies.
Multiple broods hang out in one spot. It's kind of like they're all taking advantage of the fact that the giant male hanging around, because giant males aren't also common. So if there's definitely one around, they're all going to want to hang out. And you'll see, I mean, in pictures in India, they literally hang out in the big males' backs for basking, for protection, and honestly, it's just amazing to see. So yeah, the co-parenting, if you will, when it comes to those nests and the hatchlings is definitely a cool thing to see in crocodilia.
So next up, we got the pair that is more than ready to get the heck out of here.
That female.
That female.
Salty.
That's Vegemite. And we got Pickle Rick.
Vegemite.
And Pickle Rick. Come on.
Pickle Rick. Let's see how fast he goes.
Come on, bub. And the biggest thing is, the reason I shut it is because I don't want him to come up and smack the wall and hurt himself. Because even though they are giant monsters that take down kangaroos and pigs
And cattle.
but also I feel like when they smash their head into things, I feel like there can be hairline fractures. Like if you look at her mouth is crooked, so I feel like it definitely can affect them over time. So I like to make sure they don't hit their head too much, but a little bit is okay, because again, these guys are meant to take down huge stuff, but don't want to hurt him too much.
And honestly, he's looking actually bigger. Like it looks like he's going through a bit of a growth spurt.
Yeah. As you can see, he has a really nice weight to him. His tail looks great. His body is not too big, too small. I feel like he is a very healthy weight. Would you agree, Christian?
Yeah, no, he's a perfect looking salty. A lot of salties, they're not terrestrial species. A lot of crocodiles really don't want to run around and land too much, but especially salties, the bigger they get, the more lazy they get in their body movement. So looking at him, his tail is thick, but it's not too thick. His belly's nice shape. He's only going to get bigger, and I give it to Pickle Rick. He's always getting his exercise. I mean, you can see he literally launched over here. Every time he gets fed, he wants to jump 6 feet in the air. So he gets his exercise, and it shows between his growth and just his overall body condition. He's a perfect salty. He's got a double tooth growing.
Yeah. So this is kind of a coalition of Haley naming this one Pickle Rick and Christian naming this one Vegemite. Much like Vegemite sandwich, it doesn't look very appealing, like her jaw. Stop,
But
girl.
apparently the palm tree looks appealing.
Yeah. So she is not very appealing with that crooked jaw, but hey, hopefully he's into it. Because these two will be going together. Once Chubbs gets out of his big enclosure, we'll put some sheep pile around it to secure it, and then we will throw these two in.
Guys, so here we are with our African dwarf crocodile. This one's name is Douglas. He is our male. Now this is a pair in here. We have a male and a female. The female's name is Petunia. And you can see Douglas, for being small, still has a lot of power. It's similar to any crocodile. So we never really underestimate him. But really one of the coolest little species out there. And I say little because they're not the smallest crocodilian on the planet, but they are the smallest species of crocodile on the planet. So he is pretty much fully grown. I would say he'd get maybe a little thicker, but being that he is an adult, seeing him for almost a year now, he hasn't gotten too much bigger than the last times I've seen him. So this is about what you get with the Douglas, the African dwarf crocodile.
Gearing up
now,
for
I don't
another
want him to jump again, but you can see he's very, very active, which is cool because a lot of times osteos are known for being kind of lazy or just too chilled out, if you will. But a couple of the coolest things about them is if you look at their feet, they have very, very minimal webbing on their feet, because this is one of the ones in Africa that is known for walking around all over the place at night in the jungle habitats where they're found, to the small bodies of water where they can find their food. They'll sit in a small body of water, the mouth open, and just wait for fish to swim by and crush down right on them. So super, super cool. The Osteolaemus. And we do have a bigger male So hopefully maybe we'll find him a female one day too, just like Mr. Douglas has his Lady Petunia somewhere in there. But African Dwarf Crocodile, one of my favorites.
All right, so next up is hopefully the young male American crocodile.
Oh, came back to you.
See if you can just get a sweet smile in there.
Little green.
Yeah, that's beauty of the summer. Definitely is, gets a lot of algae in the ponds. There he is, there's a good shot of him.
Ah! Run away!
Did you get it? Did you get it?
I think I got it.
Hey, come here. Green machine. That is a young male, and he honestly will be out of here realistically within the month. We're gonna be moving. We're gonna be planting those enclosures next week. Love how I just opened that one up.
Yeah.
You talk about jungle in there. There's a Yukari Caiman somewhere in there. Do you see it?
Nope. Those root systems are crazy.
Come on, come on. Okay.
He doesn't want to come out.
So 1 for 2.
1, 4, 2. What's that?
1 for 2.
Oh.
We saw one, got skunked by the 2.
Let's see if we can go 2 for 2. Oh, yeah, he's right there.
This is a very beautiful Australis. This is the first Australis I ever had.
Yeah, he looks great.
Yeah, he is a beautiful big adult male. He is definitely a candidate for the medium enclosures. Because obviously, I mean, I don't think it'll be too hard to find him a girl. And he's young, he's big, he will most likely get bigger. So I think he's definitely a great candidate for, not these, because this is Christian's Corner. This is Christian's Corner. Now what's cool is you guys just saw that video, you know, a couple days ago.
Yesterday.
With these, yeah, yesterday. Yeah, but it's not yesterday because we're filming. It's going to come out tomorrow.
So yeah,
that's why I said a couple days ago.
All right.
I'm smarter, Ryan.
Yeah.
But yes, so now you guys can see we're actually working on these. We're building the shallow sections.
Yeah, the fence is gone. The fence was here last time.
Christian's happy. Look at him smile. But this will be the Philippine area. So the male there, the big adult female there from Tampa Zoo, and then another female there. And we'll put shift doors in and possibly breed them next year. All right, guys. Well, that wraps up. Update on the greenhouse.
Yeah, if you liked today's video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. If you're new here, make sure to let us know in the comment section. Show us some love there. Let us know what you think of all the crocodiles in the greenhouse that are gonna be moving out. If you are new, watch our past videos so you can see all these beautiful enclosures. About to get sprayed with water. See all these beautiful enclosures, and we'll see you on the next one.